Hello everyone, this is Suresh from Azure ADB. Today our topic is how to use unpacking operator, asterisk symbol. This asterisk symbol, how to use, how and when to use in PySpark. So first we'll see this asterisk operator is used to unpack the elements from the list or tuple. It takes each element in the list or tuple and passes them as separate arguments. So first we'll see one Python basic example. So first I'm taking list as the example. So I'm defining one variable. This has a list of elements. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is there. So here I'm using two methods. One is I'm printing directly this variable num underscore list, and here I'm providing asterisk. Before variable, I'm providing asterisk nums underscore list. Now, if you see the difference, if you directly print, it will give same list here, same list of elements it will give. If you use asterisk symbol, it will give here only the elements. So that means it will convert each element of the list, each element of the list as a separate arguments. So similar way, if you see one more example, tuple. So that is first one is a list, second one is a tuple. So this is my tuple, and here also I'm using same method, printing directly that variable and printing with asterisk. So here also I'm getting, in first method I'm getting tuple as it is, tuple with elements. Second one is each element has separate arguments. So same explanation I given here. So instead of printing this list of elements, it printing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because the list or tuple was unpacked into separate arguments. So next one more example. So I have two lists here. First one is list one. This has elements up from 1 to 5. In a second list, I have elements from 6 to 11. So first what I'm doing, I'm adding the list. So list 1 plus list 2. And one more time what I'm doing, I'm adding asterisk list 1, asterisk list 2. So in first case, if I add both the list, what will happen? It will make a single list. It will start from 1 to 5. Then it will add this from 6 to 11. So that it will be have from 1 to 11 list of elements. And if you come to second condition, since asterisk, it will unpack. So you will get 1 to 11 as separate arguments. Okay, so now we'll see in PySpark when we can use this asterisk symbol. So this particularly useful when you are passing multiple column expressions to methods like, so these are all the methods you can use this asterisk parameter. So one is a select, aggregation, group by and aggregation, order by drop. So first we'll see with select method. So how to use asterisk with select method. So for that I have created one sample data frame. I have this many columns. If you see here, these are all the columns I have in this data frame. On top of this, what I'm doing, first what I'm doing, this is my data frame by using select method of columns. So here, what is the columns? If you see here, this one. So these are all the columns. That means list of elements. So this list of strings I am directly passing in this select statement. So that means without unpacking. So select columns means, so inside that we are passing list of strings. That means list of column names. So we are getting this output. So for easy understanding, I will add the clearly columns means this list of strings. So instead of columns, I am adding here this list of strings. Okay, so this is the meaning of first line of code. So that means inside select, so this list of columns are given. So this is our output. So that means without unpacking. So we are directly giving list of strings. So next what we'll try is with unpacking. With unpacking means providing hashtag symbol here. So this one, how it looks is df.select here instead of star columns we'll get call of first column name, that is name, and second one is second column name, call of age, and third column name city, call of fourth one is sales, and next one is profit. So this is final one, region. So this how it will unpack. So the list of elements, it will do unpack. Okay, so this is our first initial statement, select star columns. So here columns means what? So this is a star asterisk and columns. What is columns? List of strings. And what it mean? Star, what it mean? That is this one. So unpacking all the strings here like this. So instead of writing, so now I written no call of column name, call of column name. So every time I return column names. So to avoid all these things, simply we can mention asterisk columns. Okay, so for both cases, you will get the same result. So with unpacking or without unpacking in select method, you will get same result. And so same thing I mentioned here. So this is first our columns list of column names. So asterisk columns means it will convert to, that means it will unpack these columns here. And similar way, dot select asterisk columns. So that means dot select asterisk columns means this one, unpacking column names. So that is this one, unpacking column names. So, but if you observe here, whether with asterisk or without asterisk, we are getting the output. But how we are getting output? So for one of the case, we should not get the output. So here is the reason. So first one is without asterisk, df.select calls. So this will work if your PySpark version is greater than or equal to 3.0. So if your version is lesser than this, then it will throw error. So what it does is implicitly expands string list. So next df.select asterisk calls. So this will work for all the versions. So this is like explicit unpacking, and this is the best practice. So when using column expressions, sometimes it may fail. So behavior is we need to unpack that one. So next one is second usage is using asterisk with aggregate function. So that means, so I have list of columns here. So sales and profit. So first we'll see without asterisk. So PySpark will comply because it's receiving one list argument instead of multiple columns. Suppose example, so df.group by region dot aggregate underscore expressions. So that means, so here we are doing group by operation on region, and on top of that we are using aggregate function, and we are defining here aggregate expression here. So but since we are not given asterisk here, it will throw error. Why? Because see here what it means is column of sum of sales and column of sum of profit. So this will I will explain further, yeah, in depth. So here what will happen? Here I created one list comprehension. So here what I'm doing is sum of column name, and I given alias of column name, and this particular column it will iterate in this particular list. So what is this list is this one, sales and profit. So for sales and profit it will iterate, and this expression I am using here in this group by function, aggregate function. So this is my data frame. Here I'm using group by on region column, and in aggregation I'm using this variable here, this aggregation variable. So this aggregation is a list comprehension, but since I'm not mentioned asterisk here, it's throwing error. So what it mentioning is all expressions should be column. So that means without mentioning asterisk, how it comes is this. Like this, it will output will generate like this. So column of sum of sales and column of sum of profit. But what it expects is this aggregate function, it expects columns, either single column or multiple columns, but not list of columns. So that's why it throwing error. So next we'll see with asterisk symbol. Suppose if I mention asterisk and then variable name, that means this unpacks the list into separate elements. So same condition. So here I given asterisk. So here asterisk what it does is, see it converted into separate columns. But if you see here, so this, it is there with list of columns. So list of column. So this is first column, this is second column. So since we used asterisk here, this one, so it converted to individual columns. So this is one column, this is one column. Now it will work. And if you see this one, my data frame, if I go to my data frame, so this is my data frame. If you observe here, so this region I'm doing group by. See here, this is one group by, this is one group by, this is one group by, this single one as one group by. So here what I'm doing, group by origin. So here group by origin. So how many groups I will get? Total 4 groups I will get. So here first one is east. This is one region, north. This is one group by west, south. So those four we are getting group by. Next, what columns we have? Sales and profit. If you take sales, see here for east, it will add these two. So 200 plus 250, 450 we are getting here. And similar way for north, it will add these two, 300 plus 220. So 520 we are getting. And similar way, these three will get added. So 400 plus 500, 900, 900 plus 150, 1050. So we are getting this one. And this is single, this 100 will get. So similar way for profit also, see 30 plus 40, 70, and 50 plus 35, 85, and 60, 70, 10. So 60 plus 10, 70, 70 plus 70, 140, and 50. This is single. So that's how this aggregation will work with unpacking. So same thing, same explanation I given here. So asterisk is unpacking operator. The asterisk unpacks the list elements so they can be parsed as separate arguments. So if you see without asterisk, see here, as I told earlier, if you don't mention asterisk, the list as it is, it will take. It won't unpack. So that means a list of columns. But the aggregation, it won't support for list of columns. It will support for only columns. So that's why it will throw error. In first case, it thrown error. Next, whenever using with asterisk, see here, first asterisk, then list of columns. Then list of columns. So it is working because it will unpack. It will unpack the things. So like this. So I can mention this same here instead of here. It will be easy to understand. Okay, so asterisk list of columns means this one. So first it will unpack this particular column. So we are getting here. And next unpacking this column here. So here one mistake. Comma only is there. Okay. So next we'll see without alias. So that means if you see here in this list, and if you observe in previous list, see here I given sum of sales dot alias. Okay, so we are not discussed about this, why we given alias here. So now we'll discuss here first without alias. So here what I given sum of column name for column name in list aggregate columns. So what is the list aggregate columns? We have two columns. One is sales and profit. So this particular column, I want to do sum up for each and every column. So whenever you iterate, you will get these two columns. But issue is whatever column name is there, whatever column name is there, so you will get like this. Your column name you will get sum of sales. So sum of profit. See here, if you do group by region and dot aggregate, asterisk aggregate expression WO. So that means without alias, without mentioning alias, so you, you are getting column names as like this. That means sum of sales, sum of profit. So now what I'm doing, so now I'm adding alias here. Sum of column dot alias column name. So that means whatever column names comes here, so this sum of column name I am changing to column name. Okay, so if you see here, column sum of sales as sales. So that means our new column name as sales. Similar way, sum of profit as profit. So now here also I'm trying two things without asterisk and with asterisk. So we already discussed without asterisk, it will throw error because it directly passing list of elements. So it will throw error. Second option, I'm giving asterisk with asterisk. So with asterisk, and since I given alias here, so what output I will get here is column names. Same column names I will get sales, profit. So earlier without alias we got sum of sales, sum of profit. After giving alias, we are giving column names. So on top of this, I'm trying one more thing like I want my column names as in uppercase letters. So for that, what I have to do? So same list comprehension. So sum of column name dot alias of column name. And for this column name, I am adding upper statement. So if I add upper, so each column name, it will convert to uppercase. So why this is not converting? Because here we are iterating only whatever columns in this list. In this column, in this list, I have only these two columns. So that's why these two columns, it converting to uppercase. So similar way, if I want to do capitalize the first letter. So here in alias, instead of upper, I'm adding capitalize here. So then what will happen? Column name is sales. So in this, yes, first letter S will be capitalized. In profit, P will be capitalized. Okay, so next, so same thing I explained here. So first one, sum of sales. So that means without alias, what we'll get is column sum of sales. Suppose if you mention alias column name, what it does is dot alias, it renames the resulting aggregated column. So after doing aggregation, initially we got sum of sales, sum of profit. So that aggregated column, it will rename to column names like sales, profit. So without alias, PySpark would name it as sum of sales, either sum of sales or sum of profit. With alias, it's renamed to just sales. So sum of sales dot alias sales. So same thing I mentioned here, that final list comprehension. So sum of sales dot alias sales, sum of profit dot alias profit. So this is all final result. So same thing I explained in detail, same thing I explained here. So this is our first list. This is a list of columns to aggregate. So sum of column name, that means aggregation function applied to each column. So dot alias column name means it renames the resulting aggregated column. And where we used is in this group by aggregation, we used all these things. So same code I written here. This first one is same code. As of now, we tried with the list comprehension. So that means in this list comprehension, this particular list of columns, we iterated here for passing in this aggregation. So what is other alternative is by using simple for loop. So for that, what I'm doing, I'm defining one variable that is empty list. So whatever here our for loop, I'm writing here this for loop, and inside that I am using append function. So first one is this variable, that is this one. Since we have empty list, I'm using append method and I'm passing this one, sum of column name. So since we have two columns in this list, it will iterate one by one. So first it will append sum of sales to this list. In second iteration, it will add sum of profit. And later this variable I'm passing here in aggregation. So one more alternate. Alternate means this is general case. Suppose if I want to use uppercase or capitalize the column names, you can instead of alias, here we give an alias. So suppose I want to do uppercase or lowercase, so same method here. So empty list and here for loop and alias name equal to call name dot upper. Suppose if you want to capitalize, call name dot capitalize. So either upper or capitalize. Next, for this empty list, I'm doing append and I'm adding this one, sum of column name. So first one, it will add sum of sales, second time sum of profit. By this condition, either upper or capitalize. Then this variable I'm passing in this aggregation. Okay, so you can follow either of the method. And third application is using asterisk with order by. So this is my order by columns, list of columns. So this is my data frame dot order by. In order by, I'm using asterisk order by calls. So this list I'm passing here. Since I used asterisk here, this it will unpack and it will mention only column names, region, sales. Okay, so now based on region and sales, here region and sales, it will reorder the table. Suppose if you see region, first we given order by of first region, then sales. So since first one is region, so in region, so first it will come east. If you take this one for east, no, these two values will come. So our first order by is region. Since E is there, no, so it will go ascending order. First it will pick east. And in this second order by column is sales. This is first one. This is second order by column. So in this, it again go for descending order. So 200, 250. If you see here, 200, 250. For east, 200, 250. Next, it will go for north according to order. So here we have two elements, 300, 220. But if you see order, first 220 will come, then 300 will come. So that means 220 means this whole row, 26 Chennai. See here, our third row will be 26 Chennai, 220. And fourth row will be 22 Noida, 300. 22 Noida, 300. And similar way, third one is this one west. And if you see here, 400, 500, 150. But if you see as per ascending order, first will be 150. See here, 150 and 400, 500. Okay, so next south. So as per S will come first, no? So since we have only one value, it coming here. So okay, so like this, you will reorder. Next, without asterisk. So without asterisk, it takes a list of columns and the same thing we'll do here. So for order by also, it is working for with asterisk and without asterisk. The reason is same. Initially we discussed for latest version of PySpark, it is working for both. So next one is combine static and dynamic arguments. So that means in this list comprehension, so sum of sales dot alias and sum of profit dot alias. So two columns I mentioned here with alias and same group by region and aggregate asterisk metrics. Asterisk metrics. So that means it will unpack these two columns. Sales, that sales I given rename as total underscore sales. So earlier what we gave is same column name we gave. But here I given alias total underscore sales. For profit I given total underscore profit. So these two columns are this one, that is aggregate metrics. And similar way, this aggregation we already discussed. So east, north, west, south, this aggregation we already discussed. And additionally, what I given is count I given. So count star and I given alias count. So column name is count, alias count. So here count star. Count star means in this particular aggregation, each aggregation, how many rows are there? Suppose if you see each is the first aggregation. So in this we have two records. So that's why count star giving 2. And if you see second group by, that is north. So here also we have two records. See here 2 it giving. For north it giving 2. Next if you come to west, we have 3 records. See here we have 3 records. And for south we have 1 record. See here for south it giving 1 record. Okay, so instead of only column names, sum of column names, I added count also here, 1 additional column. So next final thing is your drop function. So when to use asterisk with drop. So here I mentioned list of column names. So df.select drop and asterisk column names. So since I used asterisk, this list of columns, it will unpack and it will provide as individual columns. Drop of sales, comma profit. Then what it will do? It will drop these two columns. See here, whatever mentioned, sales, profit. So this sales, profit, these two columns will get a drop. We'll get name, age, city, and region. So only these two columns will get. So use case, we already discussed this, select selected columns. So passes list as one argument. So with asterisk, it unpacks the list and it works also. So df.group by and aggregation. So inside we need to provide. So passes a list as one argument and it unpacks the list and it will work. So same thing for order by also. So this same thing we already discussed. So except aggregation, no. So remain select and drop and there is one more order by. So these 3 things will work because of this latest PySpark version. Okay, for lower versions, it will throw error. So this is regarding when to use and the purpose of using hash tag in PySpark, mainly when passing the list of columns. So that's all about this video. If you really like this video, please like and subscribe. Thank you.